What's going on, guys? Coach Ian here with Legacy Endurance, helping you run further, faster, and more focused. And this week I want to talk to you all about the letter J. Alright, so what am I talking about? When I'm talking about the letter J, what does that have to do with running? No, this isn't Sesame Street. The letter of the day is J, but we're not doing Sesame Street, I promise you that. What I want to talk to you guys about this week is something that many of us don't do very well in our stride, and that is the push-off. So when we want to go faster, when we want to be more efficient as runners, it's often little small things we can do in our strides that will help make a big improvement, and that's exactly what I'm going to show you this week. So I'm going to take you outside of the track, give you exactly what I'm talking about, break it all down for you, and you'll be running faster in no time. So let's head out the track and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Here we go. Alright guys, so we're at the track today and I want to talk to you about stride efficiency, making it easier to go faster. And a lot of times we try and get fitter and work harder, but a lot of times it's little things in the stride that make a huge difference to getting you down the road quicker. So we're going to break down the running stride. I'm going to take one little piece out of it. I'm going to show you something that I call the J push. And this is something that'll help you to visualize what we want to see going on in the stride. So we're going to specifically look at the stance part of the stride, and we're going to look at what's called propulsion, or the takeoff part of the stride. So this is the part of the stride where you are pushing through the stride. And a lot of times what happens for us as runners is we leave this part of the stride out of the equation. We often think about driving the knees and the arms falling and going forward, but we often don't take advantage of the propulsion part of the stride, the takeoff and the push off. And what happens then is you're not maximizing the power and the sort of velocity you can get out of your stride by leaving this part out. And so what I want to talk to you a little bit about is, what does that look like? How do you make that stride as efficient, as powerful as possible without having to work harder? So we're going to look at what's called the J push. And so what I'm talking about in the J push, visualization for me, is when you're sort of taking off, you've put your leg through, you're coming back out, you're into that takeoff part. I want you to think about pushing a J into the ground, where you're literally pushing down and then bringing it back up. We want our heels to be coming up nice and high in that stride. We don't want to be shuffling. A lot of times if you're a shuffler, you're also a heel striker. So we want to think about that nice falling forward stance I've talked to you about before. We want to think about sort of pushing that stride up and getting really bringing those heels up and pushing off, because that helps to propel you quicker, helps to move you down the road faster. And a lot of times it doesn't take a lot of effort to get that extra push in there, but we often leave it alone. The analogy I often use is, it's the same thing as if you're golf swing. When you swing the golf club, you don't stop right here. You swing all the way through. You take full advantage of that momentum. So the same thing in our running stride is, we're driving through, you need to take full advantage of that momentum. So think about pushing down, pushing out, and getting that entire stride engaged while you're running. If you're leaving that last part out, you're definitely not going to get as fast as you want to. And a lot of times that's the simplest things that you can do to really make that stride pop. So this week I want you to do a couple things. I want you to be visualizing that J push, pushing down into the ground. Think about pushing 6 inches into the ground and bringing those heels up. I want you to think about the ground being lava. When you're running, you should be trying to get off that as quick as possible. So push, get off the ground, push, get off the ground. So think about trying to stay off the ground as quick as possible. Don't plod. Think about push, get up, and keep moving forward. So I want you to think about the J. I want you to think about the ground being like liquid hot magma, and you're trying to get off that as fast as possible. And while you're running, there's a couple things you can do that'll help you to sort of practice that, get that sensation of that, that propulsion, that real takeoff. Is as you're running, every now and then, just shoot out the back leg and really just be very conscious of just pushing that back leg out. So as you're running easy, pop that leg out. As you're running easy, left side, right side, and just really think about doing that the entire time you're running. So that's your goal this week, you guys. Focus on the J stride. Focus on sort of making sure you're maximizing that entire stride. Don't leave this part out there. Make sure you're taking advantage of that. It'll help you to run faster if you're looking to sort of improve your time. It's an easy way to do it, guys. So it's little baby things, little small things in our stride that make a huge difference. So hopefully that helps this week, you guys. I'd love it if you'd subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it. Hit the bell if you're not a subscriber yet so you can get notified every time we do post a video. Thanks for watching. Have a great week. Happy running. Talk to you soon.